So I'm sure a lot of you guys know about conserving water. How do you, what are some ways do you think that at your house you can conserve water? Shout it out loud. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be saying taking shorter showers, only flushing your toilet when you need to, and to turn off the tap when you brush your teeth. These are all some very, very great ways of conserving water. However, protecting our water and making sure our water is clean is actually just as important. As if our water is polluted, we won't have any water to drink, we won't have water to shower with, we won't have water to clean the dishes. So we need to make sure our water is clean. And a good way of getting clean water is by using groundwater. So groundwater is, well, the water under the ground. It's between layers of sand, rock, and dirt, and this layer is called an aquifer. Here we have a layout of the area under the ground. So we start actually on top of the ground where we live, that's represented by the grass, and then we have the dirt, topsoil. So when you dig into the ground, if you, let's say you dig in your backyard, the first thing you'll reach is the dirt, is the topsoil, and then after that we reach the aquifer. The aquifer can sometimes be only 2 or 3, 4 feet under the ground, but sometimes it can reach lengths of 80 feet, which can be represented, it's around the size of a water tower. The aquifer is what holds the groundwater, which is the water that we end up drinking. Actually, 80% of the people who live in the Waterloo region drinks from the groundwater. And from the Wellington and Guelph areas, 100% drink from the groundwater. So we want to make sure it's clean. We don't want to put anything in there that end up making the water dirty or will contaminate it. So a good way to think about this is anything that you wouldn't put in this cup, that you're in this water that you'll drink, you shouldn't be putting on the ground, shouldn't be putting on your roads, on your yard, because this will end up seeping into the groundwater. It'll end up flowing into the groundwater through the dirt. Some examples of some things that some people end up putting in the ground, on the ground, that ends up in the groundwater is oils. Sometimes people use salt for when they want to melt the ice. And another great example is pesticides. So we want to make sure we avoid using these materials so that our water ends up being very clean so that we can drink it. Now we're going to do an activity. In this activity, we're going to be taking on the part of a cleaner, someone who's trying to clean our groundwater after, let's say, an oil spill. So when an oil spill happens, all the oil will end up seeping into our groundwater and contaminating it. And here we have 2 orange balls, and these are going to represent the oil. The 2 white balls are going to represent the clean water. So we're going to put it into the groundwater. And now we're going to try to uncontaminate the groundwater. We're going to try to take out the oil balls. But we have a lid covering it here, because this kind of represents us going in blind. Since when someone tries to uncontaminate groundwater, they are kind of going in blind. As it's so deep below the surface, they can't see anything, which makes it so difficult to get the actual oil, to get the contaminated material. So when I reach in, I'm reaching in for the oil, I'm trying to get the contaminants, and if we pull one out, it was clean water. As I'm not looking into it, so I can't really see what I'm going to get, and this represents what will happen when our actual workers, the people who work for the city, try to uncontaminate the water. So this is why we need to remember to not put anything on the ground, on our lawns, on our roads, that will end up contaminating the groundwater. Finally, I'd like to show you a road sign. Have you seen this sign? This sign can be found along the side of roads. It is a reminder we are in an area where you can find groundwater, our drinking water, and that we all have a role to play to protect it.